The system went on strike, I have to manage on my own. System, if you want to play it this way, I'm afraid I'll. Actually, there's nothing I can do. Here's 1 million, please leave my son. I blinked. His limited edition global timepiece and high-end custom-made clothes, a perfect blend of uprightness and subtle defiance, perfectly matched my aesthetic for a handsome older man. The system displayed his identity midair. Mark Young's father, Mark Wu. I've transmigrated. System, I mentally chanted for a long time, but the system remained silent. Mark Wu couldn't help but frown. I feigned a few coughs, internally dying of frustration. I'd only read the beginning of this wealthy family drama. Why was I dropped into it now? The story began with the male lead's father using money to tell the female lead to leave his son. I'd only read up to this point. I had no idea what happened next. I pondered for a moment, then decided to follow my heart and reached out for the card. Mark Wu let out a cold laugh, beckoning with his finger. Just as expected, something suddenly pierced my chest. The next thing I knew, I crumpled to the ground, dead on the spot. Wasn't I the female lead? If I transmigrated, shouldn't I be the female lead? Why did I die? System, what kind of joke is this? The system still ignored me, as always. Soon, the story reset, beginning again from that same scene. I looked around, noticing several potential hiding spots, but I couldn't pinpoint where the assassin was concealed. It made sense. If an amateur like me could spot an assassin, wouldn't that be ridiculous? I glumly looked at the bank card and mechanically stated, "No matter how much money you offer, I won't leave your son." Mark Wu nodded. "You have your methods. Naturally, I have mine." As soon as he finished speaking, my chest was pierced again, and the assassin finished me off. "Is this your method? I thought you had something else up your sleeve. I can't believe you only have one trick. Can you try something different? Don't make me look down on you." I sat before Mark Wu again, devising a counter-strategy. Taking the money meant death, not taking the money also meant death. Either way, I was going to die. Perhaps I should at least recoup some capital or disrupt the situation with a classic dog blood trope. I walked around the desk, hugged Mark Wu tightly, and even kissed him. "Actually, the one I love most is you. Your son was just a means to get close to you." Mark Wu's handsome face was etched with dark lines. He pushed me away with one hand, furiously yelling, "Do it!" I died again. But before dying, I managed to disgust him for a bit, so this death wasn't a loss. This time, after waking up, I ignored Mark Wu's offer and instead grabbed the phone with the mischievous SpongeBob case from the table. I started sifting through the contacts. Finally, I found a number with the note, "Honey." I guessed it was Mark Young's number. After the call connected, I quickly blurted out, "Honey, Mark Wu wants to kill me, come quickly." Then I hung up immediately. "You called Mark Young. How did you know I wanted to kill you?" "That's right. I want your son to see your disgusting true colors, your real face." Suddenly, a breathless, urgent female voice echoed from outside. "Kiddo, I'm here to save you." Why a female voice? I looked in the direction of the voice and saw a beautiful, elegantly made-up girl in high heels running frantically towards me. Beside her, notes floated. "Female leads best friend Sandy." Most likely, when Mark Wu's father came to find me, Sandy had somehow learned about it and hidden nearby, ready. As soon as I called, she'd rush to help. But what the heck? Honey is my best friend? Then who is the male lead? I frantically searched through the contacts again. Mark Wu let out a cold snort of disdain. "Foolish, go together." I died again. Damn it, how do I break this difficult situation? The moment I saw Mark Wu again, I immediately knelt before him, tears and snot streaming down my face. Uncle, you are my heaven, you are my God. Whatever you want me to do, I will do it. I just beg you to spare my life." Mark Wu disgustedly pushed me away. "Do it." Without Mark Wu having to lift a finger, I was already dying of anger. Why another loop? Back to the beginning again. I lazily raised my hand, cutting Mark Wu off. "I got together with your son because I value him. It's not what I wanted. Even if I told you the real reason, you wouldn't believe me, but I've already shown you respect. Don't push it too far." With that, I flopped down onto the sofa. I decided to give up. I wasn't playing anymore. A whooshing sound. It seemed a needle had just struck the sofa. I picked up a piece of paper, wrapped the needle, and tossed it to Mark Wu. Such petty tricks. At this moment, Mark Wu's heart was already turbulent. The girl in front of him hadn't even looked at his subordinate's position, yet managed to defuse the attack. Could it really be, as she said, that her relationship with his son had another hidden story? Suddenly, Mark Wu stood up and left, not even saying goodbye. This situation was finally broken. Sandy burst in from outside. "I saw Mark Young's father leave. He's letting you off." Feeling utterly exhausted, I collapsed onto the sofa again. For now, I was safe. Sandy patted me, consoling. "Try to think positively. You're a teacher, Mark Young is a student. What parent would approve of something like that? Not to mention, Mark Young's father is a man involved in both the underworld and legitimate circles. You've got some nerve." "What? I'm a teacher, Mark Young is a student? What kind of forbidden love is this? Am I such a beast? I felt Mark Wu should have just killed me. What I did was utterly damaging to the ethics of the teaching profession." Suddenly, an unknown number called. A joyful voice came from the other end. "Kiddo, Dad said you admitted you're dating me." "Mark Young, you little brat, you've ruined me. You changed your phone number. And also, please call me teacher." "You blocked my old number, so I had to get a new one to call you." No wonder I couldn't find this brat's number in my contacts, and the blacklist only had one person labeled Antifan. It turns out this brat was unilaterally pursuing me. I was never dating him at all. No wonder Mark Wu wanted to kill me regardless of whether I agreed to leave Mark Young or not. I should have decisively denied dating Mark Young, then none of this would have happened. Why is my life so miserable? Transmigrating into a novel without knowing the plot, forcing me to go through all these twists and turns, having a system that's basically useless. Please don't call me the female lead anymore. Just call me unjustly accused one. Fuming, I arranged to meet the brat, Mark Young. Meeting him, I saw that while he didn't resemble his father, Mark Young was a handsome and polite young man. Before, I thought he was underage, but he looked like an adult. I feigned strictness. "Tell me, how old are you this year?" 18. "Why? Teacher, I'm an adult. I'm a senior in college. Why won't you agree to date me? Is it just because of our identities? In just 4 years, I can get married. You're not planning to wait and then just accept my proposal directly, are you?" I nearly choked on my water. This kid was really impatient. What? 18 and a senior in college? He must be a genius. "Do you know how old I am this year?" I deliberately probed. "You're only 8 years older than me. 8 years isn't such a big difference that we can't be together." It turns out this body was 6 years older than I was before transmigration. I know, but the gap in our identities is an unbridgeable chasm. "Is that why you won't date me? If so, I'll drop out immediately and get a job. Then I won't be a student anymore and I'll have a career. Will I be worthy of you then?" "You absolutely mustn't do that," I secretly fumed. "If your father found out you dropped out because of me, my fate wouldn't just be death. The problem isn't our identities or anything else. I simply don't like you, so we can never be together. Don't pursue me anymore in the future, or it will waste both our time and worry your father. Understand?" Mark Young was clearly a strong-willed person. He immediately stood up. "As long as you're not married, I'll always pursue you." With that, he walked away. This stubborn kid. Frustrated, I called Sandy. "Would you consider marrying me to save me?" She thought for a moment. "It's not impossible. This author's world is truly strange." Wait, Mark Young left, but where should I go now? I hastily ran out of the cafe, quietly following Mark Young. I followed him to a school and watched him enter a dormitory building. That's right, this must be the school where I work. Today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. I should be going to work on Monday, right? I followed the signs and stealthily entered the office. Which computer was mine? Just as I was racking my brain, I spotted a giant, mischievous SpongeBob sticker on the back of a computer. All right, that's it. I turned on the computer. What? It needed a password to open? How would I know? At this moment, the thoughtful system displayed a password midair. I entered it and logged into the computer. I thought the system was paralyzed from me dying and resurrecting so many times, but it seems not. However, it only seems to run pre-installed programs. I can't command it even a little. I quickly reviewed the class schedule and lesson plans on the computer. Not bad. Finally, a plotline that wasn't too outlandish. In my original world, I studied molecular biology, and in my current identity, I'm a molecular biology teacher. This means I shouldn't be exposed when teaching. The first class passed safely. I tried my best to avoid Mark Young's adoring and loving gaze. Ms. Lee, the dean wants to see you. Yes, where is the dean now? In the dean's office. No useful information. All right, I'll just keep following the signs. Ms. Lee, that name sounds pleasant. My original body also had the surname Lee. Ms. Lee, Ms. Lee. Wait, they used to call me Kiddo. Could my name here be Lee Gui, Lee Ghost? Is it because this world doesn't have water margin? I wonder if Lee Gui is my name or if my parents wanted to give me a truly unusual name. I arrived at the dean's office door. On the wall outside hung a list of outstanding teachers, and there was my name, Lee Gui. I quickly took out my phone to search for water margin. Indeed, this world didn't have that novel. I breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. Otherwise, every time someone called me by that name, both I and the other person would struggle not to laugh. Chapter 4. Beside the dean, a few words floated. Female leads dean. What? The dean doesn't even have a name? The dean looked at me with a serious expression. Little Lee, please sit down first. I've heard from students that a boy named Mark Young has an unusual relationship with you. An unusual relationship? Dean, listen to yourself. Doesn't that immediately make my image as a beast glaringly obvious? I quickly waved my hand. That's not true at all, it's just that this boy, this senior student who's about to graduate is pursuing me, but I've never agreed. I deliberately emphasized those words. The dean also waved his hand. I don't want to interfere in young people's affairs. Little Lee, you are very outstanding yourself. You excelled in college, stayed at the school as a lecturer after getting your PhD, and are currently leading a key confidential scientific research project. Talent like yours is a priority for our department's cultivation, but the higher one stands, the more one must maintain their integrity. Dean, he and I really have nothing going on. I've been wronged. Regardless of whether you have feelings for a student or not, once this causes a bad impact and rumors spread, while rumors don't affect students, they have a huge impact on your future. The dean looked at me with a meaningful expression. I thought for a moment what the dean said wasn't wrong. Morally, it was true. Yes, I will handle this quickly. The result was that my ability to act was still slower than the young people nowadays. That night, a video about a female teacher dating a male student who had just turned 18 shot up to the hot search. The poster wrote that the female teacher was the youngest associate professor at the school, soon to be able to supervise doctoral students. The male student was a second-generation rich kid. The person said the female teacher was very greedy, not only wanting to lead in scientific research, but also wanting to marry into a wealthy family. I knew immediately they were talking about me. I don't want to marry into a wealthy family. Even if I did, I wouldn't want to marry a kid. Wouldn't it be better to marry a first-generation rich man, marry his father? Thinking of my bright future, I quickly registered a dummy account and furiously refuted the rumors, but the effect was negligible. Why did their post go viral, and mine didn't? Maybe my comments weren't sensational enough compared to theirs. I painstakingly found a comment supporting me in the comment section. I was extremely grateful for that person's rationality and affirmed that we were like-minded. After chatting for a while, I discovered that person was my best friend, Sandy, who had always supported me. Busy all night, I was physically and mentally exhausted. In the middle of the night, I felt my heart being squeezed. Oh no, aren't female leads supposed to have a halo? The next day, I arrived in class with dark circles under my eyes. Mark Young rushed after me as soon as class ended. Teacher, did you not sleep well last night? How could I sleep well? Last night, our story went viral on Hot Search. I wonder who leaked our story. Mark Young looked like he knew everything. Kiddo, I know you're using this method to make our relationship public. I'm very touched. I nearly jumped up, saying sternly, Boy, don't talk nonsense. I really didn't leak anything. Besides, you're only allowed to call me teacher. Moreover, there's no romantic relationship between us. You're just unilaterally pursuing me. I even suspect you bought this hot search yourself. Mark Young waved his hands repeatedly. It wasn't me. I don't know who it was. Maybe they wanted to help me out. He got help, but I got harmed. As we were talking, a petite and pretty girl walked past. She was also my student. When she saw me, A hint of jealousy flashed in her eyes, then she politely called out, "Ms. Lee," before looking at Mark Young with gentle eyes. "Let's go, the cafeteria will run out of food soon." Wait a minute. This voice, the person who posted the video last night, although her face was covered, her voice wasn't altered. "Little girl, you stop right there." The girl stopped, looking at me with a puzzled expression. "The thing about Mark Young and me last night was that you're doing." The girl flinched, quickly saying, "It wasn't me, it really wasn't me." "Clearly, the voice in the video is yours. What are you still denying? Besides, looking at you like this, you definitely like Mark Young, right? Did you want to tarnish my reputation to be with Mark Young?" The girl was so aggrieved, she nearly cried. "Without evidence, you can't accuse others just because you're a teacher." Mark Young also looked confused. "Teacher, what you're saying isn't right. After all, I'm the school's hot boy. How can being with me be considered tarnishing your reputation?" "Is that the main point? Didn't you read the comments on the hot search? Didn't you see? Everyone is calling me an immoral teacher, seducing my own student, and many people have even gone to the school's official account to demand my dismissal. I advise you to quickly figure out how to take down the hot search, or if you don't leave this school, then I will." I walked away in a huff, vaguely hearing Mark Young comforting the girl behind me. "Don't mind her, the teacher just didn't sleep well last night. This kid, he's making me so angry." The girl sniffled. "It's okay, I know the teacher is just upset, I won't blame her." Clearly, this was the voice from the video. I really don't want to get involved in this love triangle game with these kids. As I was preparing to teach another class, the dean called me again. "Dean, what's the matter? I'm about to go to class, maybe we can keep it brief." "No hurry, no hurry. Let's sit down and talk. I've already asked another teacher to cover your class." Oh, I sat down. The dean poured me a cup of goji berry tea. "Is it because I didn't sleep well, my spirits are too low, making my nerves too sensitive? Why do I keep feeling like the dean is subtly implying that at my age, I shouldn't be involved in ambiguous relationships with students?" "Little Lee, you've been teaching and doing scientific research recently. It's been tough on you. Since you started working, you've always been dedicated, never taking a single day off. Although you're not yet 30, you're almost there. Still 4 more years." "Dean, I was thinking, maybe I could take this opportunity to take a leave of absence first. I'll rest well and then come back to work after a while." "Is it because of the hot search last night? This matter got a bit too big. The leadership council met and decided to give you some time off. Come back to work after the hot search has passed." I silently drank the entire cup of goji berry tea, agreeing with the decision. It was good to go home and rest for a few days. I needed to figure out how to deal with this. I registered many accounts, clarifying a few things here, explaining a few things there, but people were more inclined to believe the story of a teacher seducing a student rather than the truth that a student was unilaterally pursuing a teacher. After 2 days of effort, I realized that in the face of internet trolls who loved gossip, my efforts were truly worthless. It's not true that hard work always leads to good results. Well, I can't say that entirely. At least I received many private messages calling me an idiot. "I don't want to try anymore. I'm giving up." That weekend, I was napping at home when Mark Wu appeared before me with dramatic flair. "Oh my God," I screamed in fright. "You're illegally trespassing. You're committing a crime. Don't you know that?" Mark Wu looked at me as if I were an idiot, seemingly asking if I didn't know who he was. I secretly fumed. "Don't let me gather evidence of your crimes, or I'll throw you in jail." This is your real intention behind your ambiguous relationship with Mark Young. Your affair with him is on hot search. What exactly is going on?" Mark Wu said coldly. "This isn't good. This familiar tone, this sudden tense atmosphere, is this another sign of death?" I shivered, wanting to sit up straight and explain everything to him, but before I could, I lay back down. "It seems Ms. Lee doesn't respect me. Are you planning to talk to me lying down like that?" I'm really sorry, I like to sleep naked." His face darkened. "You nap naked too?" "Yes, do you only sleep naked at night?" Mark Wu's gaze seemed capable of instantly killing me. I quickly shut my mouth and explained to him, "Your son unilaterally likes me, but but I only see him as my student. I have no other thoughts. Seeing his expression soften, I continued, I'm about to become a research supervisor for graduate students. I originally highly valued your son and planned to select him for my first group of graduate students. I didn't expect him to like me. To soothe his emotions, I didn't completely reject him. You'd best talk to him about his future. My research topic is a confidential, key project. If he can become my first graduate student and the research topic is successful in the future, his prospects will be incredibly bright. But now, I've been affected by the hot search and suspended from teaching. I don't yet know how the school will handle me, so I'm afraid I can no longer be his research supervisor. You should think carefully about this. Mark Wu's attitude softened considerably. Your project sounds very solid. I will have someone investigate this matter. If the truth is as you say, I will apologize to you. What? Mark Wu investigated my project? How did he know it was a confidential project? And he'll apologize to me? I quickly waved my hand. No need, it's just a misunderstanding. As long as the misunderstanding is resolved, it's good. You don't need to worry or feel any psychological pressure. Mark Wu said nothing more and left, probably speechless because of me. That night, the hot search was taken down, replaced by a video of that girl crying and saying she was jealous because her idol liked the teacher and not her, so she made up such a lie. The dean also informed me to resume teaching. I love teaching, I love scientific research, I love my job. I was overjoyed. Indeed, Mark Wu was Mark Wu, acting quickly and decisively. I truly am an incredibly tragic female lead, unable to accomplish anything myself. In class, I repeatedly couldn't help but laugh. Mark Young came to class with a bruised face. Given his status, only his father would dare to hit him. One shouldn't lack compassion. Even if you lack compassion, you shouldn't laugh out loud. Hey, you're teaching class. Focus a bit. Can you hold back and stop looking at him? I told myself silently while lecturing. I'm truly amazing, able to multitask, lecturing while whispering to myself. As soon as class ended, Mark Young flew after me. His bruised face held a serious expression. Teacher, I've thought it through. I want to apply to be your graduate student. I want to become a scientist, standing alongside you. No, I'm not a scientist yet, but it's good that you have such a dream. This is your father. I pointed at his face. Mark Young scratched his head awkwardly. Yes, but don't worry, teacher. This time, my dad really woke me up. I won't get lost in love anymore. I want to become a useful member of society. I patted his shoulder. Good boy. I hope that in the future, I can be proud of you. I never expected this stubborn, unyielding kid to become so obedient after a beating from his father. Mark Young began to study diligently, becoming my graduate student. We researched science together, collaborating seamlessly. Although this kid was a bit naive in matters of love, I must say, our research cooperation was incredibly smooth. He was a valuable assistant to me. With my 10 years of scientific research foundation, plus our 3 years of day and night research, we finally discovered a new type of microorganism. This phage, after entering the bloodstream, could travel with the blood to various organs, ultimately precisely identifying and attaching to the virus's outer shell to degrade the virus. Mark Young, with dark circles under his eyes, asked, "Teacher, can we get a Nobel Prize now?" My eyes also had dark circles. Modesty, I said, but in my heart, I was already imagining myself as the youngest scientist in the world to receive a Nobel Prize. Haha. As expected, the paper caused a global sensation as soon as it was published. Major media outlets continuously reported on our research achievements. Mark Young and I were happily leaving the lab to receive the award when suddenly, a sharp pain shot through my neck. Ah, this familiar feeling of being pricked by a needle. Then my vision went black, and I lost consciousness. I internally swore, "Mark Wu, you've got some nerve. I led your son to such a major scientific breakthrough, and you still dared to stab me with a needle. Be careful, I'll make a voodoo doll, write your name on it, and poke it with tiny needles every day." Slowly opening my eyes, I didn't recognize anyone around me and saw no sign of Mark Wu. Mark Young and I were tied separately to chairs. A person approached and asked, "If you truthfully disclose the method for creating the phage, I will release you both." We only hand over our research results to the nation. The nation will mass produce it and then distribute it to hospitals. Who are you people? What right do you have? How are we spring onions? What are you talking about? Oh, he doesn't understand this simple Chinese idiom. Is he a foreigner? What country are you from? I asked. The other party froze, his expression clearly indicating I had guessed correctly. Don't concern yourself with what country I'm from. Either hand over the method or die here, you decide. Mark Young spoke righteously. Do your worst. We'd rather die than submit. Why is this kid stealing my lines? I quickly redirected my thoughts and said, we'd rather die than submit. You can dream on. The other party clapped his hands, and then his subordinates brought out 2 large chests. I worried internally, are those chests full of torture instruments? As soon as the chests were opened, my eyes were almost blinded by the dazzling light. Inside were stacks of gold and US dollars. As long as you two reveal the manufacturing method, this money will be yours. Threats didn't work, so now they resorted to seduction with money. Mark Young snorted disdainfully. Did you not investigate my identity? Do you know how much money I have? Do I look like I'd covet your petty cash? So, the person told his subordinates to take the chests away. What's the hurry? Even if I don't need it, I've never seen so much money. Couldn't I have looked a little longer? The subordinate handed him a whip, and he walked towards me with it. It's over, it's over. This time, I'm definitely going to get beaten. I clenched my teeth, bracing myself for the lashing. If you still won't speak, I'm afraid your flesh will suffer. Mark Young shouted, what's so impressive about hitting a woman? If you're so capable, hit me first. The person actually listened, taking the whip and approaching Mark Young. Remembering how Mark Young gave up on dating after a beating from his father, I was genuinely worried he wouldn't be able to endure it. But to my surprise, Mark Young, who was weak-willed in front of his father, was incredibly tough in front of this person. Over 10 lashes rained down, blood splattering, but he didn't even utter a single cry. My legs had turned to jelly. Stop hitting him, stop hitting him. The person paused. Have you thought it through? No, I haven't. Wait until the phage is released to the market. You can just get it and replicate it then. What's the hurry? Do you take me for an idiot? Our scientists have said that without the core technology, relying solely on researching the physical entity would take several years. We don't want to wait that long. Then I'm out of ideas. This thing benefits all of humanity. Why are you two so stubbornly holding on? Science has no borders. Why endure such physical pain? The person raised the whip again. Wait, science has no borders, but scientists do. Scientists who achieve scientific breakthroughs should naturally hand them over to their own nation first. Otherwise, wouldn't they be traitors? Don't worry, my nation will definitely share it with you, but you'll certainly have to pay some money. You can't just steal it openly, can you? He then took out 2 vials, shaking them in front of me. It's fine if you don't hand it over. We've already obtained samples from your lab. Huh? These are the only 2 vials of phage solution. Did this scoundrel steal them all? But it seemed they hadn't discovered a secret about the phage. As long as the environment is suitable, the phage can self-replicate infinitely. In other words, once they have the physical entity, they don't need to start research from scratch. They just need to master the cultivation medium technique to mass produce it. No, I must snatch those 2 vials. This isn't phage solution at all, I said to him sternly. These are just 2 bottles of water. The phage hasn't been developed yet. The person stared blankly at the clear liquid in front of him, asking suspiciously, your reports clearly stated that it's been developed. And these 2 vials, if there's nothing inside, why put them in a multi-layered encrypted freezer? It's just for show. It's in the freezer because I wanted cold water. The encryption is because I'm afraid others will touch it. We have a fridge anyway, why not use it? If you don't believe me, give it to me, I'll drink it for you. This is just normal cold water. A normal person, hearing me say that, would surely know I was trying to trick them, but not this guy. He actually held the 2 vials, then brought them to my mouth. A million horses galloped through my mind, but my face remained full of disdain. Finally, I opened my mouth, and the person poured all the liquid into my mouth. I gulped it all down. The person was stunned, then brought the other vial to my mouth. Don't do this. I just drank 1 bottle, I'm so full, okay. But I still forced myself to drink it all, and after finishing, I let out a long burp. The person looked dejected. Suddenly, bang bang, several gunshots rang out, and all the men in black around us fell to the ground, dead on the spot, except for the one in front of me who lay groaning after falling. Next, Mark Wu, wearing sunglasses and expressionless face, walked in alone. Of course, he certainly wasn't truly alone. There must have been assassins ambushed around him. "Uncle, if only you had arrived a little earlier, I wouldn't have had to drink all that solution just now." I burped a few more times. "Or, if you had come even earlier, your son wouldn't have been beaten, and I wouldn't have had to arrange things." "Arrange what? Couldn't a bunch of your men just rush in and knock them down? Or do your men only know how to shoot guns and not fight hand-to-hand?" Dad, avenge me quickly. This scoundrel beat me black and blue." At this moment, Mark Young couldn't hold back anymore. The nearly 1.9-meter tall young man burst into heartbroken sobs the moment he saw his father. Truly, handsomeness only lasts less than 2 minutes. Just now, he seemed quite mature. "Don't worry, I kept him alive for you to vent your anger. But you drank all the phage solution. What do we do now?" "Don't worry." I pointed at the bottle on the ground. "I deliberately left a little bit of this. Just a little bit can infinitely replicate. If not, I can vomit out a bit later to see if we can separate anymore." Mark Wu was unusually silent. "But did you kill all those people?" I looked at the people lying on the ground. "Don't worry, they're only unconscious." Damn it, these criminals only got shot unconscious, while I, who simply seduced a student, deserved to die earlier. Mark Wu handed those people over to the government to deal with. Today, I was too tired, too sleepy. I was sleeping soundly when I suddenly heard a ding, the sound of the system waking me up. I had forgotten the system existed. I rubbed my hazy eyes. What is it?" "You have completed your mission in this world. Do you wish to leave?" "What mission? The male and female leads haven't even got together romantically yet." "Not all missions are about lovers becoming family. The male and female lead's mission here was to successfully conduct scientific research together and protect the research results from being stolen." "Oh, I see. Just leave like that. Don't I need the achievements I've strived for over the years or the friends I've made here?" I thought for a moment and asked, "Is there a reward for completing the mission?" "If you stay here, all your achievements, bonuses, and subsequent income will be your rewards." These were things I deserved anyway. It sounded as if it was giving them to me. "If you return to your old world, I will assist you with all my might, helping you quickly achieve similar accomplishments as in this world." Although I would have to start everything from scratch, thinking about how the people in my original world could also be cured of viral diseases, and no one would die from viruses anymore, I gritted my teeth and decided to return to my old world. Can I ask why I transmigrated here? The original owner of this body was a scientist with the potential to influence this world, but due to a system malfunction, she developed a rare heart condition and would have died suddenly on the night you transmigrated, severely affecting this world's trajectory. Therefore, I brought you, a genius in biomedical science, into this body. If it was a malfunction, wouldn't it be better for you to repair her body or directly resurrect her? Why bring me here? The system was silent for a moment, then said, "Didn't you notice that she looks exactly like you, just younger?" It was only at this moment that I suddenly understood. I thought this was a normal transmigration story, transmigrating into someone identical to myself. "You mean, she is me and I am her. We are people from 2 parallel worlds." "That's right, this repair is considered the smallest and most perfect repair." This time, it was my turn to be silent. I have one last question. Did Mark Wu really want to kill me before?" "No, his actions are all legal. He just frequently carries out some special missions in this world, making his identity seem a bit mysterious. When your soul first transmigrated, the degree of fusion with the body was extremely low, and you hadn't yet nourished this already ailing body. The toxins on his needle initially only caused intense pain for a moment. He only wanted to force you to completely leave his son, never intending to kill you. It was just that the toxin accelerated your death. If not for this incident, this body would have also died suddenly in its sleep in the next life. So that's how it was. No wonder it kept restarting. If I hadn't been pricked by Mark Wu's needle, my body would have gradually merged with my soul, and I would have been safe and sound. But since I had decided to return to my original world, I planned to say a proper goodbye to the friends in this world. I went to say goodbye to Sandy. I told her that I might suddenly disappear soon and that she shouldn't look for me. She cried uncontrollably. Did you win a scientific research award and are now under secret protection? Although I'm happy for you, I really can't bear it. I froze, then lowered my head. After a while, I finally managed to speak with difficulty. I might not appear again in the future. You should make new friends. Sandy cried even harder, crying for a long time before nodding. Okay, as long as it's not because you have new friends and want to break ties with me. I was still debating whether to say goodbye to Mark Young and Mark Wu when Mark Wu suddenly invited me to his house. The car wound around for a long time, probably wanting me to get lost so I wouldn't come again, finally stopping at a villa complex. Originally, I wanted to tour the villa to broaden my horizons, but seeing hundreds of solemn bodyguards scattered around, I thought, never mind, too many people, it obstructs the view. Lunch was very enjoyable, truly an eye-opening meal. Every dish on the table was something I had never tasted before, and each flavor was uniquely delicious. With a full belly, I felt very satisfied. Getting to have such a good meal before leaving was indeed a good farewell. Mark Young, seizing the moment Mark Wu left the table, quickly asked, "Now that we've achieved scientific research results, can I pursue you again?" I shook my head vigorously. He truly was a stubborn child. Just then, Mark Wu came down from upstairs. Mark Young quickly sat up straight. Anyway, I was leaving, and I knew Mark Wu didn't want to kill me. Plus, I had drunk quite a bit of expensive wine, so I boldly said, "To be frank, someone like Mark Young, he's not my type. I see him like my little brother. I prefer someone like your father." Mark Wu, he was truly my type. Even in my wildest dreams, I wouldn't dare to dream of such a wonderful man. The faces of both father and son changed simultaneously. I pretended not to notice. "Tell me, if you were as handsome as your father, looking 30 at 50, perhaps I would have wavered. By the way, why don't you two father and son resemble each other at all?" Mark Young awkwardly said, "Indeed, I'm not as handsome as my father. The main reason is I'm just his adopted son." "Do I look like I'm 50? Mark Wu asked, his face darkening. "No, no," Mark Young waved his hands repeatedly, then said to me, "Teacher, my dad is only 5 years older than you." I can't take this anymore. I collapsed onto the table, utterly defeated. I'm back. As soon as I opened my eyes, I found myself back in my original shabby rental room. The novel I had been reading had disappeared. I was a person accused of stealing others' scientific research achievements while studying for my PhD abroad, condemned by the entire academic community. Clearly, they stole my achievements but framed me, even colluding with foreign media controlled by their powerful backers to sensationalize the matter. I scurried back to my country like a rat, disgraced. The problem was that my previous lab was a top international lab, where such theft of student achievements had never occurred. Moreover, my case was too high profile, making it impossible for me to clear my name for a long time. No lab believed me. I could only rely on the money I earned during my master's and PhD studies to make ends meet. Whenever I went out, I had to cover myself thoroughly, afraid of being recognized and cursed at. After returning to my country, I hoped to immediately embark on other research. But unfortunately, no lab had sufficient funding to support me. I was between a rock and a hard place, wrapped up in buying vegetables at the market when I suddenly heard a familiar voice from behind. "Excuse me, are you Ms. Lee?" But the voice was too gentle, making me feel unsure. I turned my head to see a younger Mark Wu, who looked only 4 or 5 years older than me. I almost called out his name, but remembering he didn't know me, I swallowed it. "Can we find somewhere to talk?" I nodded. The meeting place was quite discreet. "Is Ms. Lee always so lacking in vigilance, just following a stranger like that?" Mark Wu asked with a smiling face. I just grunted in response, but in my heart I thought, "You're not a stranger to me. Don't say I'm lacking vigilance. With Ms. Lee's vigilance, no wonder your achievements were stolen, leaving you to hide like this. How did you know I was wrongly accused?" "Although they deleted all surveillance videos and altered your lab logs, I still found some traces of their fabrication. Plus, you've always posted complaints that were like a stone sinking to the bottom of a well, making no waves online, so I concluded you were wronged." My eyes welled up. Finally, someone knew I was wronged, but what then? "I have enough funding to open a lab for you. do you have the confidence to restore your experimental results? During this time, I will continue to gather evidence to clear your name. Of course, I can restore the experimental results. Just give me 3 years, no, just 1 year. Furthermore, I can create another scientific research achievement that could be enough for you to receive an award. Evidently, Mark Wu didn't expect me to say that. He was stunned, finally just smiling in response. That's right, he must know a bit about scientific research. Wanting to create an award-winning achievement in half a year? What a joke. Thinking this, I could only give an awkward laugh. By the way, he seems to be a foreigner. I haven't asked about his stance in this life yet. After the scientific research results are obtained, how do you plan to use them? You don't need to worry about this. We can sign a contract. You'll have full discretion then, just share the profits with me by percentage. Rest assured, I won't interfere too much with your scientific research, but I believe we share the same stance. He smiled at me, as if he had great confidence in me. I nodded. Everything proceeded very smoothly. In this life, I didn't need to try many methods to find the right one. I just had to directly follow the method I had discovered in the novel world. Honey, are you working late again today? I'll probably have to work overtime. Don't worry, once the experiment is completed, I can take a long leave. Don't push yourself too hard. Your health is the most important thing. You too, isn't your side very chaotic? It's good enough if you can report safe to me every day. What you need to do must be very secret, yet you contact me so many times. Be careful not to expose yourself. Don't worry, I know my limits. That's right, I successfully caught this excellent man, Mark Wu, who is both rich and handsome. Mark Wu told me he would be returning today, so rarely, I left the lab early and personally cooked a table full of delicious food for him. When Mark Wu returned, he had a child about 10 years old with him. The child was very cute, but wasn't that Mark young as a child? Mark Wu said apologetically, "I'm sorry I didn't tell you beforehand that I brought him here. This is a child I found on the battlefield. He saved my life, so I wanted to bring him back." You want to adopt him? No problem. I smiled happily at little Mark Young. Although Mark Wu was very surprised, he was also very happy. Quick, say hello, he told little Mark Young to greet me. Mark Young sized me up, then declared, "Miss Prissy, just you wait until I marry Mark Wu, then we'll see about you."